Okay, I'm going to walk you through how to make your own climatogram. So, you have a copy of this on Google Classroom that you can edit. I'm going to go through it step by step. Please feel free to pause the video, complete the step, and then come back. So, first step, you're going to fill in your World's Fair country. I am just going to do the United States because I'm assuming none of you picked that. And let's do Boston because it's close by. Try to pick a capital city would be good. Or if there's like the biggest city, you'll find easier data that way. If you don't know your World's Fair country's capital city or a major city, look it up. So once you have that filled in, that's more just, so we can look back. You are going to fill in this table. Now you're going to have to do a little bit of research to fill this in. So this information is very easy to find. You can find it. I promise it is out there. It might not be in the right measurement, but if you look and you search well, you absolutely can find it. So let's start with average precipitation. So I'm going to go into Google. And I can look up Boston average precipitation. I can add by month to be specific. This pops right up. It is in inches. I don't want it in inches. I want millimeters. So again, I can be really specific and say in millimeters. You will get a lot of data. Like there are tons of, like you can find this information, I promise. Might not be in the first site. You might have to look at more than one site. I know, that's scary and shocking. But you can go in. Some will have it, like this one, they have it, but it's not, it's just in a graph. Can't use that. No, go away. Keep looking. You will eventually find a site that has it listed. I'm going to use the climates to travel. If that shows up in your Google search, that usually has what we need, actually has everything we need on one site. Time and date, if you see that, is usually a good one as well. And if for some reason you cannot find average precipitation in millimeters, maybe you can find it in centimeters or inches, you can always convert it. I know that's scary. But again, you have Google at your disposal, my friends. If you find the data in inches, you can then Google how to convert from inches to millimeters. And you can figure it out. I promise you can do this. I know you can do it. So here we have our data. This is what I'm going to use. I'm looking for average precipitation by month in millimeters. So I am going to copy this into my data table. So you can see I have my data in my data table. Same data from here, millimeters. Now, this particular site also has the information for average temperature. If you found your precipitation in a different website that doesn't have it listed, you might have to do a second search. Again, super easy. Boston or your city, average temperature, average temp by month. Again, you will find it. It's right there. It's not hard to find. You can absolutely find this data. So, I know I talked a big game in the Go Formative this week about using Celsius. But for this, because I do think for our purposes and for you guys, Celsius is a little new to us, I am going to have us use Fahrenheit. So you can kind of take a sigh of relief. I'm not going to have you make this climatogram with Celsius. We're going to stick with Fahrenheit. So it's a little bit more familiar, especially if you're looking at data from a city you're not familiar with. So right here, Boston average temperatures. It has minimum and maximum. Again, I'm going to copy right over into my data table. So high would be maximum, low would be minimum. They're synonyms. Again, depending on who wrote the site, you might see one or the other. So I'm going to take a second and do that, and I'll be back. And we're back. It's done. I did it. You can see taking minimum would be the average low temperature, exact same numbers, put it into average low column, maximum, average high, right there. So that is my, if you're following my schedule for the week, this is what you have to do on Tuesday. You're now done for Tuesday. If you want to keep going and move on to part 2, actually making the climatogram, or you can keep going, or if you want to wait until Wednesday, it's totally up to you. So, you ready to start part 2? Okay. So, now we have to make the graph. I know it's been a while since we've made a digital graph, but you guys remember this little button up here to make a graph? Insert chart. So, just like we've done in the past, I know it's been a minute. We're going to highlight our data. So see how I'm clicking from the middle of the month cell and highlighting all the way down. Just this box. Just from 7A to 19D. No more, no less. I'm clicking from the middle of the box, not from the side of the box, all the way down. Once I have that, once I've selected the data I want to make into a graph, I'm going to go over to my Insert Chart button. I'm going to click on it, and I have a graph. How simple is that? So beautiful. So here is my climatogram. So there are some options. If it doesn't pop up right away for you looking like this, it might pop up as just a line graph, if this is what you see, or if you see just a bar graph, you might see different things. In order to get that climatogram shape of combo, bar, and line, you're going to go over into chart type and select combo chart. So again, I'm in the chart editor. I'm in setup, chart type, combo chart. And then that's going to give my climatogram appearance. You can then go in and customize it, play around with the colors, change your, have fun with it, make it your own. In the past, people have maybe done themes around like their country's flag colors or things like that, or just colors you like. Totally up to you. So there are different options that you can do all in here. You can always, if you need to, you can always undo things if you're not happy. So give yourself some time to play around. You also don't have to if you like the way it is. And then you're going to look at these questions down here. So this is the last thing you gotta do. You got 3 questions to answer. So the first one, based on what you know about your World's Fair country, is this climatogram what you expected? Now, I did mine for Boston. Looking at it, I would say this kind of makes sense for the climate that we live in. There's not like a rainy season here. We get pretty much the same amount of rain year round. So that makes sense to me. In terms of temperatures, obviously we're getting our highest temperatures in our summer months. We're getting much colder temperatures in our winter months. And that makes sense to me. So I would say that yes, this climatogram is what I expected. What biome do you think this location is part of? Well, I know that we live in a temperate forest. If I didn't know that we lived in a temperate forest, my clues would be, again, we're getting good amount of rain all year round. Our temperatures are not super hot, but they're not super cold. They have this kind of gentle slope throughout the year. That's what I would expect. And then, based on this information, is there a time of year it would be best to visit this location? This is a little subjective. Depending on your information, you might decide like, ooh, if there's a rainy season, maybe you don't want to go visit during the rainy season. If there's a cold time, maybe you don't want to go during the cold time. If there's a super hot time, maybe you don't want to go then. I would say for Boston, probably spring or fall. Because you get kind of those moderate temperatures. And there's not, like, you're probably going to get rain no matter when you come to Boston. So, but again, that's up to you and what your country is. So, this is how to do it. If you're having trouble, please come to office hours. Please send me emails. I'm happy to help you. Rewatch the video. Go through it step by step. I know you guys can do this. It is a little bit of a step up of challenge this week, but I have total faith in you and I'm looking forward to seeing your graphs.